What a fun weekend. What a fun weekend, Matthew.
Yeah, you had a fun weekend?
I did. Saw a couple movies, was mentioned on a big podcast. I thought I came out with a big W on that Thursday.
I think so too. I didn't expect Chris to react.
I'll take the sweatshirt off. You can keep talking. I can hear you.
I didn't expect Chris to react like that. No. I think it might have been exasperated by being on KMS.
I don't think so.
And I think that his reaction might have gotten boosted a little bit.
No, I think that's
because of the pressure. But
no, I think that's legitimately how he felt.
I think so.
And he came off. Can you come off like a bigger asshole than he did? I mean, it was a decisive victory for the Justin show, the long-standing Justin show. What a
that's one for us.
That's
Ding.
right. We're 1-0. We're 1-0. That's right.
Well, keep going.
Yeah, that's right. Ding.
One for us.
1-0. But yeah, I saw a lot of people saying on Twitter before KMS like, oh, Justin's just trying to do a Kirk impression and trying to start fake shit to try to get rile up like views for his show. And I'm not going to spend the entire show talking about this, but like, no, that wasn't fake. Like, I legitimately do not like the guy. I still don't like him.
Yeah.
I know Kirk said yesterday that like, oh, I'm sure they're going to pretend to like each other now. And it's like, that's not the case. Like, straight up, like, fuck him. I wish nothing but the worst for his podcast.
Where do you think, you're still in the same position with this podcast. You think it's going to fail? You still have the same reservations about that?
Yeah. I was going back and forth, like before KMS, I was all like on Thursday, I was all hyped up. I was like, oh, I'm going through like old sound, trying to find sound of him just being a douchebag and things of that nature. But, I don't know. He DM'd me on Thursday after I think he realized how in the wrong he was, or how in the wrong other people think he was. Cause I still think he thinks he's right. I think he has a huge ego. And he still believes that everyone else is wrong, and that that 30 minutes or however long I ranted on was just way too much, and that how could anyone ever? He doesn't take. I think at one point he said he's not a sensitive guy. Now on Sunday I went and I thought, ooh, you know what I'm going to look at, like just to kind of tweaking my nipples a little bit. I'm going to go look at the Apple reviews for my podcast, and I was going through them, and there's a couple trolls in there that giving me 1 stars, and it was like, oh, it's funny. And then I was like, I wonder if there's any if anyone listened to the KMS show on Thursday, and then you decided to review Chris's show, saying like 1 star, and I shot him a 1 star. So I went over there, I wrote a review, and I read a couple of them. A couple of them were funny. It was like I was like, oh, I can't wait for the Spiderman thing in 2 months. Timely 1 star. I go to check for those today, and they are gone. He is deleting 1-star reviews from his podcast.
Huh. So that they were there. And
I know for a fact that they were there, and he's deleting them. So if he's very sensitive about it. I'm sure in his mind he's justifying that. Well, these people haven't listened to my podcast, and they're giving me 1-star reviews based off his personality, not based off.
But then in that point, you'd have to also delete the
5-star reviews because the podcast hasn't happened yet.
It's off of a trailer.
So, I mean, I don't know if he's going to admit to deleting these 1-star reviews. I highly doubt it. I can just say with 100% certainty that he is going. Because I wanted to see, like, can you delete 5? So what you have to do is you have to, like, email Apple from your account and say like, oh, these are phony reviews, things of that nature.
Interesting.
So, yeah. So
it's a new development.
Yeah. No, I mean, so I would just say like, I'm not going to like, the Justin show is not going to turn into the like war against Chris Clemmer podcast. It's just going to, I just figured we have to talk about it today.
But we got our eye on it.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on it.
I'm going to be listening because I'm very, like I said last time, I'm going to be listening because I want to see how far it goes, if it lasts. I want to see all of that. It's not, like I said, not necessarily the movie reviews. I just want to see how far it gets. I want to see the process. I know you're big mad at that.
We'll see. I'm not big mad. I'm just like, if anything exciting happens, they're going to talk about it on KMS.
Oh, that's probably true too.
So I guess you're right. And I don't know. Just listen to how the guy talks. He thinks he's better than everyone. So just listen to that. And if you want to support something like that, go on ahead.
Listening to KMS today got me excited because the first episode of his podcast is going to be dropping the first day that KMS is back in the new year, the 3rd.
Why is that exciting?
Because then they'll be playing, I'm assuming they would be playing audio.
Yeah, but who knows if it's going to drop in the morning or drop at 3? Or...
Well, there you go. I think
I don't know. I don't know. It's going to suck. I mean, it's beating a dead horse at this point. But yeah, just know that if you leave any like negative feedback for that, give it a 1-star review or anything like that, he's just going to get deleted. So it gets under his skin. I have a feeling he's going to go like Kirk said. He's going to go on. He's going to overly joke about it, pretend like he doesn't care. But but hey, you come at the king, you best not miss, and he missed. So
I love the victory lap.
I'll have my fucking eyes on him.
I love it.
So that's that in the whole war against QWC or Chris Klemmer, as it would be. But do you have any big takeaways from it or anything you saw? I thought it was pretty fair.
No, I think
I did a decent job on Thursday.
Yeah, I think that it was all covered in the show. I think that he, in the end, didn't handle it correctly on KMS. I think the tweet was meant to be funny and joking, but definitely was just like kind of dickish.
You have after heard that after he specifically said on.
So that's what totally changed my mind. It's like it definitely came off as dickish when we were talking about it last week, but after listening to it on the show, I was like, all right, well, it clearly was just meant with ill intent.
Yeah, and I only think he apologized because Kirk was like, "You lost." Like,
sure.
I think in his mind he's like going home and he's telling his wife like,
I do not think that that it was going to go that way. He didn't think it was going to go that way.
No, I don't think so either.
I think that shocked him.
No,
as would I.
So yeah, so I'd be interested in seeing how he recovers from this. But yeah, don't give him any bad feedback to his baby is at a theater near you, or else he will delete that in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And like, who am I to say? Like, I've blocked people in the past and things like that, but I don't know. I think like going in and like deleting reviews, being like these are disingenuous after saying you're not sensitive is like.
I just think it's funny that you, of course,
I'm a fucking sleuth.
He will delete the 1 stars, but not the 5 stars, because in the end, it's basically the same thing. He's deleting those 1 stars because it's based off of trolling and they haven't watched it yet and whatever. But also the 5 stars are also that way too. So
yeah. So I don't know. We'll see how that participates. But speaking of movies, a little bit jumping into, I saw 2 movies.
Nice.
This weekend. I saw the I don't know if you heard of this new movie. It came out. It's pretty small. It's called Nightmare Alley. No, it's called Spiderman.
Yeah, I think I've heard of it. Did
it's
567 million worldwide or something?
Oh
like
really?
That?
Oh really?
Insane.
Well, it's good to see that movies can still
that little indie film getting its due.
Little indie film with it only took like 35 movies like before it to kind of like.
They're on a roll. I mean, the 2 that were the highest before this was Infinity War and Endgame. Yeah. And that's only, we're only 3 years out from those movies, really. So kind of crazy. Kind of wild.
And I don't know, like I wasn't a huge fan of the first 2 Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I think Far From Home and Homecoming. This one, it's a very funny movie. I'll give it that. It has a lot of good like comedy parts in it. It's very nostalgic. I mean, I think everyone kind of knows like what happens, with like the old Spider-Man coming back and the old like villains.
Spoilers for anybody that
spoilers, I guess. I mean, but it's been like all over the place.
Right, we're going to talk about it anyway.
Have you if you haven't seen anything on that, I feel like it had too much like, remember this?
Yeah.
Oh, remember this line? Ooh.
I think that is one of the places where it kind of like faltered. I think that they did that too much. Yep. But I also was worried that Tom Holland was going to take a back seat to the other Spider-Man, and I didn't feel like that happened. I still feel like Tom Holland was like still great. Like he put out
he
a
was
great
still like the number 1 Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I will say though, I think Tobey Maguire does not give a fuck.
Oh no.
You could tell he was like, I don't know. I don't want to say he was high. He was definitely like, I don't think he did a second take the entire time.
No,
it was just like,
I think he's like,
he was there and he's just like, yeah. Like I don't know. Like, it was very like, I'm sure they cut him a check for, probably 8 figures or something crazy like that to come back. And he was just out of it. He was just like, okay, I'll do this. We'll get through this. And then I'll just go about, because I don't think he's been in anything recently.
I haven't really, I don't know. Maybe a few at-home movies, but nothing in theaters for sure.
Yeah, and like I see him as just kind of like he was in the spotlight for a while. He was
a huge movie star.
You could say like the biggest movie star at the time.
Yeah,
when,
definitely.
Spider-Man was kind of the biggest thing, and I think he's just so far out of it. And it was just like he was so like, I don't want to say like nonchalant. It was just very like, oh, that's my line. Okay, that's how I'm going to like. I don't think he took a lot of time and effort and preparation.
I think in his attempt to be the Spider-Man he was in the first Spider-Man, he kind of like it was him doing a Tobey Maguire impression of him doing Spider-Man. So yeah, a little bit of that. But on the flip side of that, Andrew Garfield,
I will say, was excellent. Right. I saw Andrew Garfield and I was like, fuck, I want him to be Spider-Man again, man.
Right.
He was like, he looks like, I mean, I people say like Tom Holland, the whole high school kid sort of vibe to him, and that was people say like that's the thing they didn't like about the Amazing Spider-Man and Spider-Man was kind of like they were like too old to play the character. But I think Andrew Garfield he's a fantastic actor, like period. And like he did a fantastic job in everything he did. If for some reason, and I saw there were some rumors, I don't know how true any of it is. I did see a little bit. If they do want to bring back Andrew Garfield as the Amazing Spider-Man and do another Amazing Spider-Man movie in the Sony like verse with like Venom and stuff. Yep. If they did that, it would probably be good at this point because he's older. He was already old to be Spider-Man when he played Spider-Man, but now I think he's in a good spot where he's fit into like the Venomverse. Yeah, right. Where I don't think like Tom Holland could really fit into that universe. No, and I was nervous about that post-credit scene because they kind of like they're like, oh, it's kind of the same thing. It's like, oh, and then I don't know how that's gonna go. Yeah, but I will say in post-credit scene, obviously leaving the symbiote behind, a little bit of the symbiote, the goo. I do think that the MCU and Marvel will do a much better job flushing out the Venom that lives in that world than the Tom Hardy Venom. I think the Tom Hardy Venom needs to exist on his own or with a very limited cast of characters. I think he needs to exist with like other... Like, I'm actually excited for the Morbius movie. I don't know if you've seen the trailer for it. Yes, I did. The worst part, I saw the trailer and like the worst part of it was when he's like, I'm Venom. And it's like, no, I'm just kidding. It's like, oh, we get it. Like, you don't have to, I hate how movies are now like, we're now attached to this movie. Yeah, so that's why you should come see it. Well, Sony just wants their grubby little paws on all that money. Yes, exactly. And I'm sure, I think there's some sort of contract where like Sony has to come out with certain movies involving certain characters or the rights revert back to Marvel. I don't know much about that, but that's why that does sound familiar. Was it Sony or was it 20th Century Fox? Do you remember that terrible, terrible Fantastic Four movie a couple years ago? That was I'll look that up. I think that was 20th Century Fox before they were. It's the Miles Teller one, right? The Miles Teller as Richard Reed. Yes. And Michael B. Jordan was Mr. Fantastic. Yeah, not the 2005. No. 2015? Yes. I believe that like that's why that movie got made and it was rushed like so quickly was because if they don't like make a movie every now and then, the rights revert back to Marvel. So Marvel though does have Fantastic Four now. Yes, because they bought 20th Century Fox. That's why, because it is Fox because the X-Men were also part of that deal. Correct. Right. Correct. So that's why they put out like a really half-assed movie. Because Marvel was probably like the MCU was probably like, yeah, well, we can do. That sucks because I was so excited for that. I like Fantastic Four. I like Fantastic Four a lot too, but that movie was fucking terrible. Going back to the Venom stuff and Morbius. So Michael Morbius in that trailer, he does the I'm Venom, so people know that is the Venomverse, like that is the Sony. And I think, Venom and another universe. Part too, they're like, we haven't seen anything like this since San Francisco and Venom. Right. And it's like, well, okay, well, like Jesus Christ, can we, have a little bit of subtlety here? And then to kind of counteract what they showed in Spider-Man No Way Home, the Vulture was in there. Michael Keaton's Vulture was in there. Yes. Which is a Tom Holland Spider-Man villain. Yes. So that would mean that Morbius is in the same universe as Tom Holland. And it also takes place before, like, Homecoming. Right. So, like, so I don't know. Like, yeah. Like, there's a whole bunch of different. I'm excited for it. I'll see it. I thought Venom 2 was not great. Sony's making it mess. Yeah, I mean, I think that Venom 2. I love the idea of Venom. Yeah, like, the idea of like if they made like a rated R horror movie where like some guy is like legitimately like going around eating people, like not wanting to like not being able to control himself. Yeah, but then they just went all comedy in the second one. And they're like, oh, what if he makes a lot of eggs and the ketchup gets all over the place? I thought that
I thought that they took what was funny in the first one and just amplified it.
And then
the
they were like,
second
well,
one.
what if we just got rid of everything else besides the funny parts?
Right. And Tom Hardy helped write the second one.
And what's his face directed it? Andy Serkis.
Yeah,
And,
right.
I love Andy Serkis as an actor. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, the greatest motion
capture
actor like ever.
Yeah,
he deserves to be.
He pioneered.
Yes, I mean, him as Gollum is legitimately like the greatest motion capture like ever.
Gollum, Caesar
from
Rise of the Planet of the
he was
Apes.
Snoke.
Yes,
he was.
He is that guy.
He's just like, but like I don't know if he's should be really directing movies, but
yeah. So, and I thought a few Venom lines were funny, but Spider-Man: Far From Home was tremendous. It was exactly what I needed out of that movie. I think.
Was it Far From Home or was it?
What did I say? No Way Home.
No Way Home.
No Way Home. Is exactly what I needed from that movie. I'm sure that when I watch it again, I'll find a million plot holes because
were people clapping in your theater?
They clapped. So I got
some woos, and it's like, okay, we get it.
Usually I like a clap. I do. They clapped when every villain showed up.
Yep.
When every Spider-Man showed up.
Yep. Whenever there was
every big moment.
Yep. With mine, they clapped whenever there was like a throwback, like I'm somewhat of a scientist too, which is like, okay, we get it. It's a funny joke.
The meme, yeah.
But my personal favorite, where I legitimately like, I turned to the guy like next to me, was like, fuck yeah, was when my boy Matt Murdock showed up.
Oh shit! And you know what? That's one of those things that happened early on, and then afterwards, I'm recounting it with my buddy.
You're like,
and we're like, oh yeah, fucking Matt Murdock was in it too. Holy shit!
Fucking love Matt Murdock.
Are you watching Hawkeye?
See, I'm like waiting. Is it over yet?
No, it's not over yet. You're gonna binge it, right?
Yeah, because I like with Marvel, like with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like I waited until the entire thing was out, and then I just binge it all in like a day, just to kind of get my.
It's great. You'll enjoy it.
Okay,
it's very good. Yeah, but I'm psyched for Daredevil to be back in the fold in some way.
If you want, like, if you like Marvel like at all, but if you think like Marvel's a little bit too like superhero-y and kiddishy,
right? Because it is.
Yeah. Daredevil is not that.
Not
like,
that at all.
I've tried telling like Blind Mike before, like, and I know, I'm sure. Have you ever seen the Office before?
Yeah.
Where Kevin's talking with who's the homosexual character?
Oh, Oscar.
He's talking to Oscar, and he's like, something about jail, and he's like, Oscar, and he goes,
love jail.
You would love jail. Like, I feel like that's literally what like Blind Mike gets with like the Daredevil. It's like, oh, you haven't heard of Daredevil before? It's like, no, and they go, oh, Mike, you would love Daredevil. And I feel like he gets that like all the time due to the fact, but I will say it's like one of the best shows on Netflix. Period. It's very dark, and it's like it's superhero-y, but it's not like pretty much the guy's strong and has like super senses.
Yeah.
And he like, runs around, but it's not like he's like shooting lasers out of his face or anything of that nature. Actually, the whole Marvel Netflix series is
very grounded,
very good.
Yeah.
It exists as it's like its own self.
Yeah.
While it exists like inside the universe, like a couple times they'll be like, remember what do they call it? The incident? Or they
talk about the
Avengers.
Yeah, right.
When
right.
the aliens came down and like destroyed.
They call it, don't think. Well, shit. That's never mind. I'm thinking of the video game A-Day. That's not what it is.
No. What do they call it? They call it I think it might be like the incident or something like that.
Yeah, but I know you talk.
It's something of that nature. And
they talk about the green guy.
They'll be like the green guy, or someone will be like, oh, do you know Captain America? And they'll be like, yeah, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
But the Jessica Jones TV show also, I think the first season of Jessica Jones is like the best season of television on Netflix.
That is a great villain.
Kilgrave
is a great villain.
Oh, is it incredible? It's very like you said, it's very like independent of its own.
Yeah.
They all intertwine a little bit. Who's the
Iron Fist and Luke Cage. And then they had
the fucking Punisher, my guy, which they have to bring back. He needs to.
Man. He could. John Bernthal is such a huge actor. He has such name recognition. He's in so many things.
Yep.
Marvel would be lucky to have him join a cast because that's just another name you can put on a poster.
He would. I think they hit it out of the park so well in the casting of Matt Murdock, the Punisher, and Jessica Jones, where it's like I can't think of
Kristen
Ritter, who doesn't. She's what's her name from Breaking Bad? She ODs and
Jane.
Yes, Jane from Breaking Bad, and she ODs, and Walter White just kind of watches her do it.
Yeah. Brutal.
And then I think she was also in like a TV show called like The Bee from Apartment 23.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But she's excellent in
Jessica Jones.
which is, it's funny though, because like, so independently, those TV shows are so great. And then The Defenders was such a big pile of shit because they were just like, well, what if they all just come together? And, you know, like really quick.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I mean, with Spider-Man, it was funny. It wasn't like great. It wasn't like, oh, it's not going to like make you think or anything like I loved Infinity War and Endgame. I thought those were excellent movies.
Yeah.
This was kind of more of just kind of like, oh, now remember this guy? Remember this guy?
I would say the last half hour is the most substantial portion of that. And
Yes.
everything the rest of the movie is like really feel good and like nostalgia driven,
Mm-hmm.
but the last like half hour, 45 minutes is really like all the important
Yeah.
like points and themes that you need to be taking away from the movie.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I'm just laughing thinking of just a line Tobey Maguire says where it's just like, he's like, I've been stabbed before. And it's just like, okay, Toby, like we get it. Like
He's the old grizzled vet.
he just doesn't care.
Yeah.
I would love it if they made I'm actually this. You know what this pumped me up for though is the new Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah, you know what? I wasn't really like, I liked the Doctor Strange movie, the first one,
Yep.
but I wasn't like, I really need to see a second one. But it has got me pumped.
But you know why it's got me pumped? Is you know who's directing that?
I do know, but I forget. Who-
Sam Raimi, who is the director of Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3.
Yes.
And I believe he's done like one other horror movie since then.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Well, Sam Raimi's famous for the Evil Dead movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
But so that this got me pumped up. I'm like, oh my God. If to get him back in the fold and things. So it was very exciting. And at the end there, when they were kind of like teasing, because like, how at the end of every Marvel movie, they tease whatever's coming next.
Mm-hmm.
They teased the second Doctor Strange.
They basically played a trailer.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
They did. And they were like, oh, it looks like there's some bad Doctor Strange guy in there who was like from an alternate universe. They need to stop. It's it should be exciting. And I like Cumberbatch. I think he's a good.
Yes, he is very good, Doctor Strange. I think he plays the character well, and I think that he genuinely. You can always tell when actors like to play their parts.
Yeah,
in the
he is like
MCU.
a very like Tony Starkish kind of thing, where it's like you see him outside of it, and you're like, oh, that's that's Doctor Strange, which
Yeah.
is something like 5 years ago you wouldn't have thought it would be like an iconic character
right
in
yeah,
the MCU.
Totally.
But it's but yeah, overall I'd give it like probably like a 6.7
out of 10.
out of 10. It's not. I will say I don't think it cracks like my top 10 or 15 Marvel movies,
Really?
which is like
I mean, it's probably my top 5.
see, but like I'm gonna start naming them. And you're gonna be like, oh, okay, like
Okay, well,
there's
hold on.
so many.
Let's do it.
Like
Let's
in
see.
no particular order.
Yeah.
Okay. I like Iron Man 1.
Okay.
These are just movies I like better than the most recent Spider-Man movie.
Mm.
Iron Man 1, all 3 Captain Americas. Okay. I want to say
The first Avenger, Winter Soldier, Civil War. Those
Yep,
ones.
yep. I want to say all 4 Avengers movies.
Would you put Ultron over this though?
No. Like that's the one where it's like it's very iffy. So like let's just go with Avengers and then the 2.
So Iron Man, all 3 Captain Americas.
All 3 Captain Americas.
3 more.
3 Avengers. You have both the Guardians of the Galaxies.
It's
Okay.
9.
The 3rd Thor.
Okay. Ragnarok's very good.
Ragnarok. So
That's
right
10.
right there, that's 10 right there.
So that knocks you up. You're putting that outside your 10, definitely.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Definitely. I will say it's probably the best of the 3 Spider-Man movies.
Okay.
But I don't know. It's just kind of like, it's just not for me. It's just like I enjoyed it, but it's like, ooh, like this was not like necessarily like, I don't know. I feel like it relied too much on the nostalgia, which is fine. But I don't know. We'll see where they go with it, and if they're going to keep on. Because I know Tom Holland said like he wants to start a family or something like that. So who knows what he's going to be doing?
Yeah, I mean, he's dating Zendaya right now.
Yep. Which I love. I love people who are just like, they have one name. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Zendaya. She's very attractive too, by the way.
Yes, very attractive. I don't, because I know I also heard that he is coming back for at least 3 more.
Oh, I'm sure he is. I mean, I'm sure they seek, 400. I'm sure he's going to be like, how like Robert Downey Jr. was making stupid amounts of money.
Oh yeah.
for like the Avengers or even like the Spider-Man movie. Like,
who else? What other Marvel hero right now is going to pull as much as he does? Like Doctor Strange,
I was
as
gonna
great
say
as Doctor
maybe
Strange
Doctor
is,
Strange.
he's a B tier character.
I agree with that.
Maybe he's bumped up now because Stark's gone.
Yep.
Captain America's gone. But without those guys, is it Thor? Is it Bruce Banner? Hulk's not even in all the movies. Like he's barely in that shit.
Hulk's only in the Avengers.
There's one Avengers movie where he doesn't even turn green for the entire movie. Well, a portion of it at the beginning, he's green for a hot second.
Correct.
Thanos kicks his ass.
Correct.
All the way back to Earth, and then that's it. He's not even green the whole movie.
And he's not even in like the Avengers 2.5, which, he's not even in Civil War.
Right. Exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like he's like, so who is the S tier? It's Spiderman.
It has to be Spider-Man.
It's Spiderman.
I mean, because like all the kids are taught, like whenever you talk to like anyone with kids, they're like, yeah, my kid is fucking obsessed with Spider-Man.
From what you described from the Eternals, none of those guys are going to step up.
No, not that I can think of. I'm trying to think maybe Harry's character.
It's going to be interesting though going forward with I talked about this on my podcast the other day.
Yep.
We talked about how they're going to input Miles Morales in, and now that Tom Holland is kind of on an island by himself because nobody knows him.
Yep.
This is a good time for him to like mentor Miles Morales, and maybe that's the handoff and the new stuff.
Well, because they're coming
him.
out with like the animated Spider-Man movies. What's it called? Not Into the
Spider-Verse. Well, yeah, whatever the new one is.
It's something Spider-Verse Part 1.
Yeah.
There's going to be 2 parts to it, and it has Miles Morales. They gave a cute little nod to him during the movie, too, where Jamie Foxx was like, I thought you would be black. We need a black Spider-Man. And it's like...
He's like swinging around Queens and helping people.
Helping poor people out.
Yeah.
I don't... I'm trying to think of like who would be above Spider-Man as
as far as tenure, it's Thor. Black Widow's gone. Hawkeye... Great Disney Plus show so far,
but also like
can't carry a movie on his own.
If they had a Hawkeye movie, it would do very well. It would not do Spider-Man numbers.
It would do about what Black Widow did. And
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that. Trying to think.
It's like
Captain Marvel.
Unfortunately, Black Panther has passed.
He would have been the best.
And he would have been great. Like he would have been a great. I mean, it's Bucky. It's Sam. Falcon and Winter Soldier. Those two could, but Falcon, I don't know. They just don't have the prestige that Tony and Cap did.
I don't know.
Anyway,
I think that would have been a great. Like I know they're in like phase 4 or 5 or whatever now, but like I feel like that would have been a great phase 2 of the Avengers. Is like main Black Panther. I'm curious to see how they're going to do Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever.
I guess I guess what they'll end up doing is his sister, right?
It has to be.
Or fit in her and Warmonger.
But didn't he die?
He did, but
I know they can bring people back. Or
I do think they were hinting at Shuri, I think is her name.
Yep.
As being like a hero herself because she has like the tech and she's
like
kind of
as smart as Iron Man and everything.
Yeah,
like
right,
that.
exactly.
Yeah.
She's got that kind of stuff. I thought that she might take over as the new like quote unquote Iron Man, take over the Iron Man suit and have her own.
Yep.
But it sounds like that there's going to be a Disney Plus show called Ironheart, which is in the comics, the most recent comics, the successor to Tony Stark.
Okay.
Riri Williams.
So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I don't know because it's like. I do think Chadwick Boseman was like an incredible Black Panther.
He was so good.
I just feel bad because like there came a point where it was like and you saw him in pictures just going like this, and you can like imagine how many times you just had to go Wakanda forever.
Yeah.
But it's I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how they do, especially if it's called Black Panther 2. It's going to be weird how they kill off or like how they
how they settled that.
I mean, because they can't just be like, Black Panther got hit by a bus one day, and then like, oh, R.I.P.
bus.
But like, also if they try to like CGI him in for like a first couple of minutes, like that won't be good either.
The only thing they could do is put him in the suit with the helmet on. But at that point, if you put him in for that much and you don't show his face, it's going to be strange.
Yeah, and it's like, is he just going to be like, oh, bye guys, I gotta go. I gotta go fight some bad guy. That's
comes
not
out,
interesting enough.
That comes out this year.
It does.
It comes out 2022.
It does. So I'm interested in seeing that.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was the first movie I saw. Go see it. It's a family fun movie. I know I just told you everything about it. But the second movie I saw, which I highly recommend people go see is Nightmare Alley.
I'm going to see it tomorrow because I almost saw it today.
It's very good. It's definitely like a movie theater experience. Guillermo del Toro, I think.
He did Shape of Water, Hellboy.
Yep.
Yep.
I like the Hellboy movies, and so I saw this, and I saw it last night, and I was like, that was a damn like good movie. It's nothing that's going to like. It's not like a blockbuster. It's not like holy shit, but there's some parts in it where it's like, whew, like it's very good. It makes you think. It's about because I knew like nothing of it going into it. I think I saw a commercial for it on TV, and it was like the most epic ending of the last couple of years, and I was like, oh, I'll go check this out. And it just got completely demolished in the box office by Spider-Man. I don't think too many people went to go see. I think it's done like 2 or 3 million so far.
I just saw a trailer for it for the first time like 2 days ago, and I was like, this has a cast. It has Bradley Cooper in it.
It has William Dafoe.
Yeah.
It has Perlman.
Yeah, Ron Perlman.
It has a bunch of like legitimate actors.
And I was like, the marketing for this is they're just not putting any money into the
non-existent.
marketing. It's just I watch YouTube a lot, and I have not seen one pre-roll ad for that.
Neither have I.
It's crazy.
Neither have I. So I looked a little bit into it. Do you know how much that movie cost to make?
I would guess somewhere around the 125 million mark.
60 million.
60 million, really?
Yeah, so a lot less than what you would think. Because it's not really like a flashy. There's not really like any like
anything that has. Is there no CGI or any noticeable CGI?
No, not that I can. Really
so it's
think of.
pretty grounded. Yeah, I guess that's right. I would think that movies like that with those type of actors, I didn't think you could get south of 100 million.
No, because I think this is kind of like a one for you, one for me sort of thing, where it's kind of like this is like I could see there's a couple like Oscar-worthy performance. Like I guarantee you, like Del Toro is going to get nominated for like best director, in things like that. It was very good. I recommend going to see it in theaters. I think it's like a movie theater experience. I think like if you watch it like in a lit room in your living room, you won't kind of get the same effect. But no, I definitely recommend you go checking that out. And there's actually, let's just talk about movies this entire time. The next two, I think they're coming out tomorrow or tonight, I guess, is The Kingsman and The Matrix.
Yes, I'm going to see The Matrix tomorrow night.
Nice. You're going to see The Matrix tomorrow night and?
Maybe I'll do a double feature.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, I can't. I work outside, so tomorrow's going to be a shitty day for that.
Okay.
I'm not be working. Going to be raining. So maybe I'll catch a double feature.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm excited to see I think The Matrix is on HBO Max, but I want to see that.
Yes, it is, right. It is the last. It's the last of the year for those HBO Max movies.
Oh, so they're not going to be doing that anymore? Or?
I thought it was just for the year, but I got a feeling they probably will.
I bet you they'll
keep it going.
I bet you they're going to keep like. Is The Matrix 4 like no longer like a blockbuster now? Like it's definitely not up there with like Spiderman or.
No, I don't think it is. I think that it has a lot. Here's the thing too. I think that the term blockbuster has changed because I think that there's blockbusters before the MCU and blockbusters after the MCU. So it probably is going to do pretty well, but it's not going to touch Spider-Man.
Oh no, not at all.
No, it's not going to touch it. And The Matrix is a beloved franchise.
Yeah,
and Keanu Reeves is beloved.
I mean, you want to talk about like capitalizing on nostalgia? That's what The Matrix. Like I was too young to see The Matrix in theaters.
Yeah.
Because when the first one came out in 1999. I just remember like in the first movie when like he takes out like he gets like a package from FedEx and it's like a cell phone where it's like this giant thing and he's like talk to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I'm excited to go see it. I don't really know how it's going to fit into like
the other movies.
The other I'm not sure, is it a reboot or is it like a sequel or what it is, but
yeah, I don't know.
I have trust that the one with Couchkey sister now will do a half decent job with that because I only think it's one of them.
Yes, I think right. It's not the
I think
it's not the siblings anymore. It's just one.
Yes,
Lana Wachowski.
Yeah, now it's Lana.
That I just recently, maybe a month ago, they re-released The Matrix, the original, the 99 movie in IMAX.
Oh, really?
I saw it in IMAX.
I would have loved to see that.
It was really cool. The only problem is when you blow up a movie that big from that long ago, the CGI is tough because it was a tough time for CGI at that time.
Well, also, like, if you see that in 99, you're not walking out of that thinking the CGI is tough.
No,
you're walking out of that like, what the fuck did I just see? That was the most epic.
But the thing that did stick with me seeing it again, and I hadn't seen it in years now, is that is a definitive moment in science fiction.
Oh,
I was
yes.
watching that and thinking about movies I've seen over the last 2 decades
Yep.
and how many things from that Matrix movie have been fit in to
Yep.
themes in other sci-fi movies.
Mhm.
So that is it's one of the grandfathers of sci-fi,
Oh, it's a great
even
movie.
coming out in 99.
It's a great movie. And then I think the other two get like unfairly shit on. I understand that that like the present day stuff is kind of shitty. I will say I think the action sequences in the second and third one are very well done.
Mm-hmm.
The plot maybe, when he's in that room and there's all those
The
TVs
TVs.
going and you're like, what the fuck's going on? And then when they see the sun, it's like, oh, he's Jesus Christ, and it's like, okay, well, like we get it. But I think the first one is like very well done, and I'm excited to see how this one goes. And I'm also excited to see the Kingsman too.
I love the first
The first two are like I'm trying to tell people, like, if you like actiony comic book things, but like you want like a little bit more like adult, like more like violence, and like the action sequences are very well done.
I was describing it to someone as if the first 2 Kingsman movies, if you take James Bond and 21 Jump Street
Oh, perfect.
and smash them
Oh,
together.
I haven't even thought of 21 Jump Street.
It's
but-
the action is superb.
Oh, it's-
some of the best, like the way it's filmed and the way the choreography is done in the fight scenes is like unbelievable.
Yes,
So good.
It's very well. So I'm excited to see what they do with this one. It's a prequel. It kind of like shows you like how the Kingsmen like came to be, I guess, during World War One, or like somewhere in that time period in the 20s. So I'm looking forward to see that. And I think those are the only 2 really big movies that are coming out this week.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see Nightmare Alley, and I'm going to see The Matrix.
Yeah, Nightmare Alley is very good. It's like I said, it's definitely one that like you see in theaters and you're like, oh, this is a movie theater experience. Kind of long too. I think it's like 2 hours and 20 minutes. But it's very interesting. But yeah, so I guess that was Jesus Christ, how long was that?
About 40 minutes.
Just on movies?
36 minutes. Yeah.
Just on movies? I love it.
I love it. I could talk about it for hours.
But yeah, what else?
Would you go see Kyle Rittenhouse in the show?
Jesus Christ. So we need to stop this. I understand that like as a society, we should we elevate people to hero status that should not be heroes. There is no reason that Kyle Rittenhouse should be speaking in front of arenas.
This can only end poorly, right?
No,
right?
Very, very poorly. Like
it can only end poorly for a
it's
number of people.
Dude, something is gonna just I mean, who am I to say? Like, I mean, the kid's 18. It's like I tell him to just go hang out and enjoy your millions. Or like the only thing I could say about this is maybe he's getting paid a stupid amount of money to be going on these things. I don't think he is.
You don't think so? You think he just likes it?
No, I think he's just they're telling him oh, this is for your brand. Go on there and just go on your brand. So there was a America Fest.
Oh my God.
Which sounds like it's kind of like...
It sounds like the worst thing imaginable.
It sounds like ISIS Fest might be a little bit worse. But it sounds like it's just the Republican National Convention in a non-election year.
Yeah.
Where they just have people go up there and they're like, who's excited to be a Republican?
Yeah.
And so they had Kyle Rittenhouse come out, and this was the reception he got when he was introduced at America Fest 2021. Jesus. There's sparks flying everywhere.
Yeah.
Fucking Prince, Prince didn't fucking have introductions like that.
It's crazy. And this kid is so young. The dude's 18.
So young. He's going to you're inflating his ego so much. He's going to legitimately believe he can just go out and kill people now. It's fucking insane.
For some reason, I don't know why the right feel like they need to use him as their poster child now because of
what they say is
they're
they're
self-defense, trial.
Well, what they say is they're well, the left would be doing this, and it's that's no reason for you to be doing it. It's just if there was someone on the left who was 18 and like she got like I don't know, she went and she fucking got an abortion in front of protesters or something like, I don't know, something like
I know what you're saying.
of equal, like
the equivalent of the other side's values. Right.
And they were like bringing her out or bringing him out like at things, and they were like, oh, look at this guy, look at him, what is like, what is he going to say at this event? That's noteworthy.
And all I've heard on podcasts and on shows he's done, he really sounds like a dumb kid.
He sounds like an 18-year-old kid who's just suddenly been thrust in the spotlight, and they were like, Kyle, what are you going to do with your millions of dollars? And he's like, fucking play Call of Duty and fuck. And it's like...
And I think this is where I disagree with you. I think that all those right-wing shows are fucking giving him some good money.
You think so?
I think that he's
so then I don't blame him.
Yeah.
I think he should capitalize. I mean, if people are giving him stupid amounts of money, then go for it. They shouldn't be.
Yeah.
But
he's going to be able to retire off of what he makes from his lawsuits. From the defamation lawsuits.
I agree with that, but I can see him in like 5 or 6 years, like doing like a signing at like Providence Gun Show.
Yes. Yes.
And you'll see him in like him in 6 years, and like you'll be at like a gun show or something like that, and he'll come up to you and be like,
the Providence Guns and Tattoo Convention.
Yeah, he'll be like, remember me? And you'll be like, oh yeah, you were the kid that shot those 2 people, and he's like, made a lot of money off that.
Yeah, he's going to be going to
a lot of pussy.
He's going to be going to like the Comic-Cons for gun people.
Exactly. And
signing autographs. But the thing that makes me nervous is he likes this. He's not doing it just for the money. He also
any of course.
He loves the fame.
Any 18-year-old kid is going to love this, and people are going to be like, "Oh my god, it's." But it's you.
And they are using him.
Oh,
using him for numbers.
But like for what? Like what does he have? Like it's not like he came out with like this. He's going to write a book, or he's going to have someone write a book for it, and it's going to be the worst book ever written. And it's
Sure.
And I don't know. I don't want to say like, and there are people on the right who are even like, okay, this is like way too much. Like there's no reason to be bringing this guy out on for him doing a podcast tour. Or like I don't think who's the guy that landed the plane on the river?
Oh,
Captain
Sully.
Yeah,
Sullivan.
Captain Sully. Like he didn't get a tenth of this.
Yeah, the fanfare that Kyle Rittenhouse is
and it's like he fucking landed a plane on water,
saved his entire.
And it's like,
plane.
And Kyle Rittenhouse, went to a thing where he was looking for trouble.
Right.
I mean, I think it was his self-defense. The law thinks it was self-defense.
The court says it is, yeah.
So, I mean, good for him. I don't know what exactly, because you look at it and you're like, oh, it's a terrible thing. He had to use the gun for self-defense. And then you look at it and you're like, oh, if you told him beforehand, like, hey, if you go through this and you're able to like go through all this scrutiny and the media will talk shit about you and people call you white supremacist, but then afterwards you get to fucking sell out arenas and you can brag about pussy on all these podcasts and all these like cringeworthy, guests will be like, oh, who's gonna fuck Kyle Rittenhouse next?
He
would take that a million times out of a million.
Here's the other thing that's gonna be sad. It's say it's 2028 presidential election, right? Is that the next one? 2024, 28?
Yep.
2028 presidential election, whoever the Republican candidate is, and who comes out on stage, 8 years or whatever it is, fucking 10 years later, here it is, Kyle Rittenhouse, this old 30-year-old guy who has been fucking washing his balls in every sink that will give him money. Yep. And he's
dude. I don't know if I was ever like that.
He's gonna be part of the he will be a huge pawn, and they would be dumb not to do it. A huge pawn in the Republicans. I hope for not. Republican candidacy.
It's just
absolutely. It's gonna be better than people are saying that Trump is gonna be the kingmaker for when he's done running. Mm-hmm. Whoever wants to run as a Republican. No. It might also be Kyle Rittenhouse. I'm not lying. Like if you can get. Every single gun person is behind the Kyle Rittenhouse thing, 1,000%.
Yep. Which I'm fine with being behind him and being like, hey, I support the decision. I'm glad he got out free. It's a little weird. It doesn't affect my life at all. Yeah. It's weird when people are like, this is the craziest thing. But like if I saw him like walking down the street, I'd be like, oh, like I wouldn't be like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, this fucking guy. He's, the fucking sexiest man. Like he's acting like he's some sort of sexy. He's acting like he just went and he
he's a kid.
He came back from like World War II and he's like, yeah, I just killed like 250 Nazis. Right. I took out the entire SS myself.
He's a kid and he's getting pumped up. He's getting pumped up by all these the media outlets that are having him on. The fact that he won the case is good for his future because it would have been a shame for any person to be put behind bars at 17 years old when they thought they were doing something the right way. And maybe his parents are to blame with that. That's besides
Correct.
the point.
Yep.
But he's a kid and he's being used.
Yeah,
Totally being used.
Dude, you're not like a fucking rock star.
Yeah.
He needs to come out with an album. Is what he should come out with.
Oh, God. I could pass on that. I could see him doing like a weird rap album.
No, I could see him doing like a weird, like, have you heard the new Kid Rock song?
Oh, yeah. Shit.
Oh,
they were playing on Legion of Skanks.
It's called like.
It's very funny.
It's like, suck my dick, I won't wear a mask.
He's serious, but it's a laugh at him moment. Not with him.
Very much so. Oh, God. Can you
Poor Kid Rock.
Look up what that song is. I love Kid Rock to death, but it's literally like, you fucking liberal pussy, I won't wear a mask, vaccinate my ass. And it's like, I could see like Kyle Rittenhouse doing like a verse with Kid Rock.
Don't Tell Me How to Live? Yes. Do you want me to play some of it? Or
play a little bit of this.
Okay, let's see if
we're going to fucking... We're
Get rid
going
of the
to
ads
fucking
first.
rock and roll this out. And like, and I think, before this starts, I want to say I think Kid Rock is a genius in the sense of he's been able to shift his brand to whatever is popular at the time.
Kid Rock?
Yes. You look at it from like, okay.
He adopted rap.
He adopted rap. He was a rock rap kind of guy. Then he went more rock. And then when country was really big, you know, he had the Singing Sweet Home Alabama all summer long time.
Yeah.
He's like a marketing genius when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Isn't he a total phony too? Isn't he from isn't he like not even
from Detroit?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like from like a very nice like suburb in Michigan, I think.
The first comment on this video on YouTube, my mom tried to tell me how to live, so I played her this song. Now I'm living rent free outside.
Yeah. So let's just listen to someone who doesn't want their freedoms fucked with. Hit it up, Chris. Kid Rock. I love this. It's just yeah. Okay.
Talking all that bullshit.
Oh yeah, fucking CNN.
Ain't nobody gonna tell me how to
Like,
live.
tell me that is not parody in and of itself right there.
Yeah.
Tell me nobody gonna tell me how to... Keep going.
I'm a moonshine sipper straight slipping in the darkness. Far from heartless, I'm more like the sharpest tool in the shed. No, I've never been the smartest, but make no mistake, I hit the fucking hardest. Devil without a cause, you heard me screaming. And 20 years later, bitch, I still fucking mean it. Fucker, you ain't never met a motherfucker like this.
Fuck, in there, motherfucker.
Sucker dick sideways, my way or the highway. Listen up, ain't nothing changed here. I still don't give a fuck. So what the fuck's up with all the backlash? You snowflakes, here's a news.
Oh, shit.
Snowflakes.
Oh, he called them snowflakes. That's original. I don't know if you know what that... But so what they'll do is they'll call liberals snowflakes because they melt easily. Oh, that's original right there. Fuck yeah. Oh, yeah. In the background, you got like CNN, NBC. Pause it real quick. Is it still the millennials? I feel like people
No,
like his age don't understand that like millennial does not mean
Millennials have
youngest-
just been turned into a term for
like,
younger people.
I see like people will be like this 17-year-old millennial snowflake, and it's like,
Well, millennials are almost 40 now.
I know.
Like the oldest millennials are coming up on 40.
Yeah, then it's like, well, isn't the newest generation like Gen Z?
Gen Z.
Like I think
Yeah,
I'm
Zoomers,
like
the Zoomers.
I think I'm like so I was born in 96, so I think
you're on the tail end of millennial, I think.
I'm either
Or-
I'm either like a brand new Gen Zer or like the end of the millennial.
Right.
But like
Would you rather be a young millennial or an elder Gen Z?
an elder Gen Z.
Yeah.
Which because I really don't care. I think it's weird when people
It's
are
dumb.
like, oh, you were born in this, so you must be offended by rock and roll and motherfuck and suck my dick.
I said Legion of Skanks. I actually think that Craig and Mike did this on Blind Mike Project.
Did they really?
I think so. I mean, because I cut their clips, so I listened to
Oh,
fucking
fuck.
everything. I think so. I don't remember. I think it was Legion of Skanks, but if it was, whatever. But it's
This-
a monstrous song.
It's motherfuck. I think at one point he says like 5 fucks in like 2 seconds.
Fuck.
He's like motherfuck this and motherfucking suck my motherfucking dick.
This guy, I'm gonna bring him up on the screen. This guy is old.
Yes,
He is old, and there's nothing wrong with being old.
I agree.
But in this video, this man is wearing T-shirts that are way too tight for him.
And it's like, dude, like someone told him like, and then what if you're like dancing in front of like a CNN logo and it catches on fire because they're a bunch of fucking fake pussies?
This is my favorite right here, when he says snowflakes and the snowflakes come out.
Yes.
Glass, you snowflakes, here's a news flash.
Oh, what great effects! And the fire is fucking.
Snowflakes. Here's a news flash, and then he points his middle fingers to the camera.
I like that.
News flash.
Because he's flashing the news.
Oh God.
That's it. He doesn't like mainstream news.
Oh, I hate it.
What a fucking what a man. But now look
I
up
hate
look up Kid Rock net worth and let's just cry for a little bit, as we'll probably never be worth a thousandth of what he's.
This dude, I'm gonna tell you what. He has a little bit of $150 million right now.
Savage.
So this dude has a lot of Gene Simmons in him. Gene Simmons would sell anything and everything with the Kiss logo.
There's a good
on it.
who's the comedian that does the bit with is it Howard Stern? He's talking about how like there's a comedian that has a funny bit about how like Gene Simmons
Wanted to fight
$400
him.
million.
Dollars.
I want to talk about a guy
was more.
who's actually from Detroit. Yeah, no, he very much like copied his brand and was like, yes, no, Gene Simmons will sell you like a Kiss I'm trying to think of something like a Kiss TV remote.
Yeah, right. Everything,
or
literally
like
everything.
Steering wheel cover.
I remember the show that they used to have. They had a Kiss. Gene Simmons used to have a show.
Yes.
I forget the name.
Was
of
it My Rockstar Dad? No.
Something. It was like something like that. It was a reality show with him and his.
Okay,
family.
no, I'm thinking of an animated show.
And in his office, he had all Kiss merchandise, like everything they've ever made with Kiss logo on
Yep.
it. It's just like mind-boggling. Dice and Pez dispensers and
Oh, it's
T-shirts and
wild.
lunchboxes. And Kid Rock has a similar fan base to Jimmy Buffett and the Parrot Heads.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I got you.
Not in type of people, but they love to tailgate at their concerts.
Yes.
So he sells coolers. He
Yep.
sells booze with his name on it.
Yep.
Like that's all shit that his fans at his shows are eating up. Totally just eating. Grills. He
Yep.
sells fucking grills.
Oh,
There
that's wild.
was an
Cool.
ad on YouTube.
Imagine how shitty a Kid Rock grill. Like that's gotta break within
Well, so
like 2 months.
he did a. Let me see if I can find it. He did a ad, and in it he took a sniper rifle, like a 50 cal sniper rifle, and shot another grill, saying like showing how cheap
my
it was.
God, damn. God, I can't think of the times like,
Let's
like
see if,
Mom, Dad, we need to get another grill. This one was shot by a 50 cal Barrett.
here it is right here. Let's play this.
program is not your typical paid advertisement. This is a commercial brought to you by ABA Products that celebrates what it is to be an American-made badass.
Fuck yeah.
We got grills that are made in China.
Ugh.
China.
50 cows that are made in America.
Fuck yeah.
This is 100% pure American badass.
So like he's
Tired of
advertising
seeing
his
made in
music.
China
I love
on
this.
everything you buy. Stay tuned. We're about to blow it up.
What the fuck?
So he blows up the shitty like,
Which was
Weber grill.
obviously had explosives inside of it because no,
No charcoal is blowing up like that.
well, like nothing blows up like that from a fucking sniper rifle.
And here's his fans.
In the next 30 minutes, we're going to start a revolution of life and style.
Fuck yeah.
Products you're about to see
There you
are
go.
about being American, living American.
Oh, so this is
and
kinda like
rocking
a,
like American. It's time to bring the job
A little
back.
what's that fucking grill that the boxer made? George Foreman grill sort of thing.
He's checking every box with his fan base. American made, Harley Davidsons, hot rods,
yes.
badass guns,
Fuck yes.
booze, pulled pork. He's hitting it all. He's hitting.
Oh,
He
I
checked
fucking
every
love this.
box.
I will say, so I worked at the Xfinity Center for a couple of years, and I remember he had a concert where it was like the $25 like it was literally called like the $25 like fuck corporate America concert where he sold tickets for like $25 or something like that, which was just a ploy just to sell it out because you sell out a 20,000 seat arena for $25, you're making fucking good chunk of change there.
Yeah.
But he said he lowered all the prices to. I think it's because like if he like sold them at like normal prices, he might have sold like 5,000.
Yeah.
But I think he offered it as kind of more of like a tailgating experience and go there and say fuck the man.
Sure.
And yeah, those people were crazy. I will say, Jimmy, parrot heads are fucking on another level. I can't stand parrot heads.
They're a different kind of people.
They're fucking wild. I saw my first pair of tits at a Jimmy Buffett concert.
I think that might be a lot of people's first
I
boob
was
experience. Honestly, at a Jimmy Buffett concert or another concert like it.
I was a freshman in high school, and I was working at the Xfinity Center. I worked the parking lots.
Nice.
And I was put in the like bus section, which is like where like it like so the entirety of a parking lot, no matter where you are at a Jimmy Buffett concert, is like in a top 1% of 1% of like normal tailgating.
Yeah.
The buses like blow that out of the water.
Yeah, because it's all party buses and shit like that, right?
It's all
like,
party buses, and then like these people have like RVs that like cost more than like your house.
Sure. And they just travel around and go
And they
to
just
Jimmy Buffett
they just
shows.
travel around. And there was this huge party bus, and it was UMass Amherst, and there was like a bunch of kids from UMass Amherst, like alumni or whatever, because Jimmy Buffett's also very weirdly like it's very popular with like older like retired people. So like these people were all like retired, and then there were some like younger people, and then there were some college kids, and the party got so big I needed to like escort each car like through like this wave of people. I was like, guys, I need to get this like car through so we can like park it. And this girl just like came up to me and she just flashed me. It was like, now you ever seen those before? And I was like, and of course I was like, fuck yeah, like fucking I
Yeah,
fuck
of
all the
course.
time.
All the
Fucking
time.
I just got done having like a threesome. And she handed me like these beads, and I was like, oh okay. And then because they have these wheels, I can do an entire fucking 3 hours on Jimmy Buffett. They have like these like Wheel of Fortune wheels they spin.
Yeah.
Where it's like, take a shot, do a dance, and then one of them will be like, flash your tits. And there's always some like gross dude like spinning the wheel for the people, and he's just behind it, and the people who are spinning the wheels are just like completely shit-faced. Like these are like 40-year-old women who are just like cocked like beyond belief. Like, oh, spin it for me. And so he'll be like spinning it, and then he'll just make it stop on like show tits. And he'll be like, oh, looks like you got to show me your tits, nice lady. If you ever get a chance to go to a Jimmy Buffett concert, do. Because it will, because not even the concert itself. I mean, the concert itself is whatever. The tailgating is fucking
Top
like
tier.
insane. Like
Yeah.
Gronk came one year. My dad had to like escort Gronk to like a party bus because like my dad was a cop there, so he like escorted him on like his little golf cart thing that he drove. It's fucking wild. It's just
I bet.
it's a bunch of people who are like 60 and up. It's a bunch of like doctors and lawyers who don't really go hard often, who like don't really party hard, and they're partying like 16 and 17-year-olds party when their parents go away for a weekend. They're like, oh, what if we just get naked and we drink all the booze and then we show each other our tits and we eat a lot of food and everything's a big party and everything's cool. Like they don't know how to like handle themselves. So like, oh, there was like they would have arrests like every year of like, oh, here's this lawyer who like, we had this one guy in the stands. He whipped out his dick and he started pissing on the people in front of him. And he was like a police chief somewhere. He was like a police chief from New Hampshire. And these people just don't know how to handle their booze.
Jesus.
So, yeah, a lot of crazy fucking. I have a bunch of Jimmy Buffett stories that can happen. I remember.
The first and only Jimmy Buffett concert I went to was the same day that Michael Jackson died.
Where was that?
At Mansfield. It was at the Xfinity Center.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yep. He did a little Michael Jackson tribute.
Oh, I think my dad told me that. So this was before I was able to work. I think it was. So I found out when Michael Jackson died. I was watching Star Wars Episode 1 on VHS in my basement, just like chilling. And my mom comes down. She's like, Michael Jackson's dead. And I was like, okay. It's like, because Michael Jackson wasn't anyone of importance to me.
Yeah, right.
So I was like,
right.
okay, don't really care. But then my dad told me that like, yeah, he remember like biking around because he was a bike cop there. And like people were playing Michael Jackson. He's like, this is weird that like for some reason never, because this was kind of like before Twitter and before like news was like, like, oh, Kobe's dead. You know,
right.
It was kind of like things would like circulate and then you'd have to be like, oh, is it really? So yeah, that's oh God, I have so many Xfinity Center stories where it's just fucking real quick. before we get to a heartbreaking story on its own of a singer gone wrong. Jimmy Buffett. I remember this girl came up to me. This was like 2 years later after my first Jimmy Buffett. I was at another Jimmy Buffett concert. She's like, "I need to help. I need to find my friend." And I was like, "Okay." And I was like 17 at the time, and this is like a 24, 25-year-old girl. She's like, "I need to help find my friend," and I'm like, "Sure." And so like I'm trying to help her like find her friend, and then she like goes into the woods, and I'm like, "Okay," and then she just gets naked. And I'm like, what the fuck is, and she just like pisses. She just like is making eye contact.
Totally stripped down.
Totally stripped down. And I wasn't like worried because this is not like, there were like other people around.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, you think your friend's back here?" And she goes, "Yeah." And then she had like a sundress on and she just takes the entire thing off and she's just fucking full on naked. And I'm like, "The fuck are you doing?" Because I didn't realize like how drunk she was because I was 17 or whatever. I didn't comprehend. I just thought this girl was just needed help. And then she just like, blankly just stared at me and just like pissed herself. And I was like,
Jesus.
Okay.
Wild times with Jimmy Buffett.
Well, I'm going to go now. And she didn't say anything. She just kept pissing. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go. But last thing I wanted to bring up, I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to touch on, Matt.
No.
Is I had I loved Demi Lovato in high school. I thought her story is actually like heartbreaking. If you actually like look into it, she was a Disney Channel star who she had a terrible childhood. She had a very rough an abusive relationship with her father. She was on a TV show, Sunny with a Chance, where she was supposed to be like this TV star who was like super happy and blah, blah, blah. But they would always put her in like such short, like t-shirts and shorts and things like that she would have to show off her body. And so she would cut legitimately like the inside of like her like where her legs met her pelvis, because she had serious like self-harm issues and mental health issues and things like that. And so when she kind of broke away from Disney, she released this album, Unbroken, I believe the name of it was, and it was about how her struggles she's faced, and to see them, I'm sorry, I've been misgendering them this entire time. To see them being paraded around the internet and like given a TV show where apparently they're in charge of like paranormal activity sort of things.
So is that what this is?
Yes, this is like I think it's on Paramount Plus.
Yes, it is.
And they're like, it's like the TV show like Ghost Hunters.
Yeah,
this is like Ghost Hunters but with Demi Lovato.
Want to play a little bit of it?
Yeah, just play a little bit. And this is just like, okay, like maybe we stop parading this around and like get them some help. It's my thing is stop having them go and like speak to spirits and star people or whatever. And please, for the love of Christ, have her talk to like a fucking therapist.
Yes.
Or have them talk to a therapist. And once again, my apologies for any pronouns or of that nature. But it's yeah. So I think that about does it.
I mean, I think there's no better way to end the show than you and Demi serenading.
I fucking she has a song on that album. I think it's called like For the Love of a Daughter, and it's about like her dad like abusing and like drinking and like not being there for her. And it was some touching shit. But yeah, now they are they're something else. But anyway, so for next week, I want you to come up with 3 New Year's resolutions you have.
Got it.
Just whether it has to do with like media podcasting or just something in the realm of anything. Because I was thinking about doing that this week. Then I was like, oh, well, there's another episode before the year ends.
Yeah.
So.
Are you going to be doing any food challenges this week?
Oh, fuck. I totally forgot. Yeah, so I didn't do a food challenge because my stomach was all fucked up this past weekend. So I'm probably going to be doing something. I'm going down to Connecticut tomorrow, Thursday, and coming back Friday. So probably Friday. I don't know.
Christmas Eve?
I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Maybe
Christmas Eve live show might be a good time for everybody to sit around the fire with their families.
And I totally fucking forgot. I'm going to be doing a show on YouTube every single episode recapping the Book of Boba. Doing
nice.
a little recap of that. Fuck, I totally fucking forgot to mention that. Because that comes out on Sunday. So I believe the first 2 episodes come out, and then there's like 6 more after that. So every Sunday I'm going to be doing a little live stream, giving my thoughts on the most recent book of Boba.
Sweet.
Doing that. I'm trying to think of. Oh yeah, make sure to leave a 5-star review. If you leave a 1-star, I'll just delete it. And make sure to subscribe. And I think that's it. Is that it, Matthew?
That's it. If you feel like it, the Average Nobody's podcast.
And also, once again, the Vaulted podcast. I can't say enough good things about them.
All good.
Please reach out to Matt from RI.
Yeah, come Matt from RI on Twitter. Hit me up if you want to record here. That's one thing. The other thing, Average Nobody's has their Christmas special. It's coming out this week. So
perfect.
Definitely
everyone check
that
out.
Then that's out. We draft Christmas movies.
Ooh, yeah. Nice. What was your first overall pick?
Well, you're gonna have to tune in for that. It's a surprise. But it
was Die Hard picked.
Die Hard was picked. I fought it, but the person who picked it, defended it very well.
Okay, were you? So you weren't the one who picked it?
No.
So, because where are you on the Die Hard as a Christmas movie thing?
I'm telling you, the person who was on with us, Justine, she did a very good job of explaining it. Because I hate the people that just say, "It's snowing. It's at Christmas. It's a Christmas movie." Like that doesn't make a Christmas movie a Christmas movie.
I agree. I don't think
so. She did a very good job just going into it. No, definitely no. I still wouldn't have it on my list as a Christmas movie because there's many other Christmas movies I like above it.
Okay,
but that's where I'm at. My first pick was Christmas Vacation.
Okay, great movie.
It's a classic. It's one of my favorites. My wife and I's favorites. So
great movie. Mine would have been the Seth Rogen Santa Inc. Would have been my number one pick. But
yeah.
But what can I say? Okie dokie. So that about does it. I will talk to you all soon. Bye.